So today I'm here with Janette Joubert, and you and I met online through Facebook.
On the recycling group, on the Upcycledclothcollective, and actually quite near, not right at the beginning, but I did come in quite early.
Yes.
And I remember you doing a little poll on the group when we were still only, I don't know, it was about 5,000 or less than 10,000 people on the group. And you actually did a little poll because you were saying it's not a collective anymore, and you were explaining how it changed from the beginning, from the first intention where, you know, with your printed with fabrics and so on. And that you were thinking about maybe we should change the name of the group. And there was an overwhelming reaction from everybody who'd come in new in the group and say, no, this for us tells us what this is about. We are a collective, we work together, and it's about promoting the ideas and the upcycled and everything. Also the debates about what is cloth. People thinking that it means clothing, and others thinking, no, but this excludes anything that's not made of fabrics or cotton or wool or whatever.
That's so interesting that you remember those early conversations. So much has happened since then. It's really interesting to hear your perspective on those early days.
Also how it's grown in different parts of the world.
Yes.
No, okay, South Africa, but it was very strongly, I think it probably is still strongly American focused and Australian focused.
Yes.
Partly because it's English speaking, mostly.
Yes.
But also how other parts of the world have come in. People from India, people living in India, people living in other parts of the world, in parts of Africa as well, that have come in more.
Yes. So when you joined the group back then, did you ever envision that we could reach more than 100,000 members?
Well, I knew the possibilities because I was a member, I still am a member of a South African group about the weather.
Yes.
And they already, at the time I joined them, already had over 100,000 members.
Okay.
You know, so even just in South Africa, mostly speaking Afrikaans, the possibilities, because if the interest is there.
Yes.
And so that's why I've always supported and backed you, and the importance is getting the message out.
Yes.
And that once you tip over a certain threshold, more people and mainstream the idea, which it already is to a certain extent. And when people start talking about designers who are using patchwork and who are using recycled as part of the theme of their collections, and in a way people being negative about it because they say, because the feeling is that they're just jumping on the bandwagon. In other words, we are the bandwagon, but they play an important role in publicizing that kind, in making it seem normal, that you don't just throw stuff away and that you don't just cut it up for, you know, the automatic thing is what do you do with the old t-shirt? Cut it up for a dishcloth. One of my favorite upcyclers, because it doesn't involve sewing, that I've learned on the group is how to make a t-shirt into a shopping bag, which is a lovely idea.
And so easy to do.
And so easy to do, and you need a pair of scissors. That's about it.
Tell us more about that.
I do a lot of unpicking. A lot of it is because I do patchwork, so I go to the thrift stores or whatever, the charity shops, and buy. And I say to the people, I don't want to buy the good things.
Yes.
Give me the things that are ripped and torn and stained.
Do you sometimes struggle to find those things in the thrift shops? Do they have to go dig them out for you?
They have to go and dig them out often.
Okay.
Or they say, come back because we'll, I'll keep the next lot for you when we sort out the good things. But this particular one is I'm unpicking the waistband of a pair of leggings that belong to my neighbor.
Okay.
And I've already fixed the t-shirt, so when I get home this afternoon, I'll call her and she's got to come and fit, because she had a t-shirt which was sort of a bit wider, a little bit like the one I'm wearing, but it had got so stretched in the wash that she says, was slipping off her shoulders. Okay. And she's quite a bit older than I am, so she says, no, I don't want to draw attention to myself that way. So I just threaded the elastic through the edging of the t-shirt. So now she's got to come and I've got to fit it so that I can tie it off. Okay. And then I'll show her what I'm busy doing.
What a clever way to resize a neckline. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it depends on how it's constructed. With her, in her case, it was a nice soft, thin t-shirt. So it's not going to last another 5 seasons, but at least, next summer she can wear it again. Yes. So sometimes you can just thread it through the bindings. Yes. And because I was ready and I had pulled out an old black t-shirt, and I said to her, if it didn't have this, I would have added a little binding and threaded the elastic through that. So, and this is an old t-shirt that I've used to patch my own t-shirts and to add a t-shirt that's too short to lengthen it and so on. So it's a bit of leftover that would have very easily I could have just cut a strip.
You are a lifetime upcycler.
I think so. We grew up with having clothes made, having clothes fitted, having clothes altered as we grew. Part of the weekend's entertainment when we were home from school. So remember, I grew up in the late 60s and 70s when bell-bottoms came in.
Yes.
So you would unpick your trousers. And
Yes.
I didn't have jeans until I was in high school. Unpick your trousers
Yes.
and then add a triangle
Yes.
to make bell-bottoms.
Yes,
and this was
yes, yes,
so
yes.
in fashion.
Yes.
And back when I was a teenager and a preteen and a teenager in the early 70s. So little things like that, like adapting your clothes to make
Yes.
them more your style, or adding something if something got too small.
Yes.
Or because I had a younger brother and later younger sister, a lot of my clothes got passed on to them. And by the time they'd finished wearing them, especially my brother on the farm, then they were only good for dish rags or for patching other things. I think this thing of fast fashion, materialism, people thinking, in order to mean something, I have to have more, get more stuff. And yes, I wear this and then I pass it on, or it goes to someone else who might need it, and then I buy another one. But I think for me, it's more important that relationship that you have with something.
Yes.
Even this that doesn't belong to me,
Yes.
by working on it, I'm building up a relationship. And next time I see my neighbor, we usually meet over the rubbish bins when we're waiting for the truck. When I see her wearing it, then it'll give me pleasure because she's able to extend the life of it.
Yes.
I love that mending is actually an active relationship building. That's so
With the
beautiful.
clothing and with the people that the clothes, because I do a lot of
Yes.
mending for other people. And I
Yes.
say to them, it's 5 minutes mending, or just fix the buttons or something.
So you show your friends that they don't have to throw it away, they can.
In a way, that's, by helping them in the one way, is to show that there are other ways. You can make your own clothes, you can remake.
I have to say, I think I'm in the editing school of things as well. To cut something and make it from scratch is very daunting for me. But to take something that's already there and change it a little bit is much easier.
Think about how it would work for you,
Yes.
or how it would work for somebody else.
Yes.
It's like adding pockets to a pair of pants,
Yes.
which I've
Yes.
also done.
I actually think this dress needs pockets. I found it in a thrift store the other day. And I'm besotted with it, but I do feel it needs some pockets. So Janette, what for you is the magic in a Facebook group?
Being able to pick up contacts, keeping contact with people out in the world, sharing experiences, getting to know like-minded people,
Yes.
and learning new things. Sometimes building up an interest that you didn't even know you had.
Yes,
So,
I love that one.
yeah.
I love that one. Janette, thank you so much for sharing your lived experience on Facebook with me. Thank you so much for making friends with me on Facebook.
And thank you.
It's been so valuable to me as well. Also giving me a new perspective on what I already do, but brought things like saving the threads.
Yes.
And I've got a container that I'm filling up every time this gets full.
Yes.
Someday I'm going to stuff a cushion in it. Little things like that make a difference. They don't have to land in the rubbish. They don't have to tangle birds' feet.
Yes.
Or choke some animal that happens to eat it or whatever. So little things like that, helping the environment, helping myself, giving myself a focus on life, because that's also part of it. So it's for me, but it's also for everything else.
Every contribution counts. Every contribution counts. Thank you so much for your time today and your contribution to our documentary. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. It's been fun.